Time now for business. Sandra Apeno is here with the very latest.
Yes, Happy New Year. I saw you last year.
Then you have returned.
Yeah, let's get to business now. I am Sandra S. and I'm Apeno. Happy New Year to everyone watching. As the total stock of loans that banks fear would not be paid continues to increase. Latest data from the Bank of Ghana as at the end of October 2019 showed that the level has hit 7.2 billion cedis. The following report by George Uafe examines the impact of the development on access to credit by businesses.
Based on the Bank of Ghana data, private sector continues to account for a large chunk of the non-performing loans. Its share ending October this year stood at 97%, up from 95% from the same period in 2018. However, the public sector accounted for just 2.3%, representing some significant decline for the same period in 2018. Now let's give you some detailed breakdown of the various sectors that these loans have been advanced. The data showed that commerce and finance sector accounted for 24% of these debts, followed by services sector, which had about 17%, and the manufacturing sector, which had about 15%. However, the Bank of Ghana maintains that if you look at the sectorial composition of these non-performing loans, there have been some improvement. This is due to a decision to write off some of these debts. For some industry persons, these non-performing loans data have shown that more banks actually extended loans to those in the commerce sector over a shorter period. Banks' profit were also going up. For the first 10 months of this year, industry net profit went up by 45% to hit 2.83 billion Ghana cedis, ending October 2019, compared to 1.5 billion Ghana cedis for the same period last year. Industry's net income also witnessed some significant increase on the back of increased interest and fees and commissions. And in October this year, it went up by 12.3% to hit 1.79 billion Ghana cedis. Despite these strong earnings and profits, this was not reflected in terms of credit to businesses. This is because the data showed that overall credit was tightening to enterprises. The Bank of Ghana was of the view that the performance of the banking sector shows that a strong banking sector has emerged with improved solvency, liquidity, and profitability. The regulator was also of the view that improving credit underwriting and loan recovery could help deal with the rising non-performing loans.
In other news tonight, the Executive Vice President and Managing Director of Tala Oil, Kwikwa, says he's not worried about being affected by any intended restructuring exercise. Tala recently asked its Group Chief Executive and Director of Oil Exploration to step aside due to challenging performance of its operations in Ghana. There are fears that some directors of the company could be affected in the planned review schedule for next month. But speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Washi said he is focused on turning around the fortunes of its operations in Ghana.
Made those forecast projections on the back of a very successful drilling program a year ago as we continue to increase production. And you know, the natural instinct of most organizations is that as we increase, we can do more. As we increase, we can do more. I think what this year has forced the company to do is basically to stop, take a deep breath, and reassess. And you know, that assumption of just continued upward progress may not have been the right one. And actually, we needed to take better account of the risks that we actually had producing oil and factor them in better than we did. So we've really spent the last few months doing that exercise where we say now, you know, are we taking proper account of those risks? Are we factoring them in properly rather than just saying everything will just continue to improve? So I would say that it's not just a tweak. There are substantial reductions in our production guidance. There are several thousand barrels a day less. But equally, it's not as if all of a sudden the production will go from 100 to 0 in the next 5 years. What we've seen is that we can maintain production on a stable basis for the long term.
Meanwhile, founder and CEO of Springfield Group, Kevin Autry, has denied rumors the company is cooking up figures with regards to the volume of oil discovered recently offshore. In December 2019, the company announced a significant oil discovery in the West Cape 3 Points Block 2 offshore Ghana and more than doubled its already discovered oil to 1.5 billion barrels of oil. The volumes have, however, been doubted by some industry players who are describing the figures as concocted, but CEO of the company, Kevin, disagrees.
However, we hit 2 discoveries. These works, are being done by blue chip companies such as Baker Hughes, GE, Halliburton, Schlumberger, and the likes. So there's not something that we Springfield are sitting in our office and we're just coming up with numbers. That's not how it works. There are companies that do the work, and there are gauges, there are logs, there are stuff which tells you. So you cannot make up these numbers. You can't just sit in your house and make up these numbers. The technical team work with these reputable companies. You have to understand that integrity is everything in our line of business. So you just don't sit up and just come up with these numbers. I think what you need to understand is that there were some existing discoveries on our block when we were awarded, and what we've done has basically increased our proven volumes or our discoveries to a little over 1.5 billion, and we have added additional gas of 7 BCF. So what the tools that are being used by these big multinationals, the same companies that work for Exxon, same companies do the work for Chevron, Tala, and everyone else. So the same way that is being measured for those companies is the same way that is being measured for us. So you don't necessarily need to drill 100 wells to prove. I mean, when you drill, it is what it is. It tells you what is there. It tells you the reservoir, it tells you out of the reservoir how much of that is oil bearing, and out of that, which is the net pay. So it's a whole process.
All right, that's all for business tonight with me, Sandra Esenam Apeno. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Happy New Year and have a great evening.